Hello, I am the Ballard High School librarian, Miss Chambers, and I'm here for First Chapter Friday. It is Halloween, and we are reading a banger, Season of Fear. This is not for the weak, folks. Okay, here we go. Prologue. It's by Emily Cooper. Get ready. A human wall stretches around Hulensi. Women and girls kneel shoulder to shoulder in terrified reverence, linked together by white-knuckled hands. Their mouths hang open. Viewed from afar, you must imagine they are singing, that this is a celebration or some benign folk ritual. The scene is about as benign as the tumor that killed my papa. The women aren't singing. They're screaming. They wail, heads tipped back, eyes red and white with terror. The wall of bodies sways and buckles with the weight of collective emotion. Some wear their fear proudly with unwavering falsetto screams. Others are quieter, and the terror inches free from their mouths and gasp. My silence makes me an outlier, makes me a target. I stand behind Mama as the sole missing brick in her feeble defense. Beside her, my sister Dorothea wails. Terror twists her face and wrinkles her forehead and makes her pretty eyes bulge from her skull. Mama turns to me, eyes wild. Scream, Ilsa! An unapologetic smile is all I can offer. I want to render them in my image, even if just for a moment, rid them of the fear that pains them. They are so determined, so full of horror that their bodies are fleshy and easy to break. Secretly, I don't think their efforts will do much to protect us when the monsters come. The looming threat of our demise sparks a realization. If I'm going to die, I would like to do so by my sister's side. I nestle between Mama and Dorothea, perched awkwardly on my knees. They grasp my hands, knuckles popping. Something feral touches their eyes. They begin to howl. The sound runs through my bones. From this angle, I can just make out the inky smear of the Hexenwald on the horizon. The sky above the trees blushes crimson. It's the only warning we receive before the forest overflows. On any other day, the forest seems almost benevolent. The Hexenwald's deceitful appearance is perhaps its most lethal trait. Whispering boughs mask a multitude of sins. The trees serve as a breeding ground for all manner of monsters. Perhaps today will be like the summer when colossal serpents, lindworm, emerged from the forest and swallowed 4 children whole. Maybe I will smell the same decay as the night an entire family was drained by bloodthirsty Nakanzeher, vampiric creatures who only know thirst. While I cannot predict what will spill from the trees, one thing is certain. No matter how hard I try, I will not feel afraid. Please, Ilsa, Mama begs, my obvious distraction triggering desperation in her eyes. I part my lips, hoping that Mama's own fear will leap down my throat, that it will dig its claws into my heart or my brain, wherever I'm supposed to feel it. I begin to groan. It's a hollow sound. There's no weight behind it, no driving force. My heart thumps steadily, blood meandering through my veins. I think the absence of my terror must be glaring, but my performance seems to fool Mama and Thea. They relax their grips on my hands. Yes, Ilsa! Mama presses a fervent kiss on my cheek and goes back to screaming. The shock of her lips on my cheek is bittersweet. I cannot remember another time she's kissed me. The ground shakes beneath my knees. It's coming! Thea shrieks. The saint is coming! The vibrations in the earth rattle my kneecaps and travel up my spine. They grow and grow until they're so close that they mirror the steady beat of my heart. Thud, thud, thud. Heat billows behind me, the displacement of air by something huge beyond comprehension. Moist, rotting breath grazes my nape. The screaming stops. Mama's grip on my hand tightens, Thea's too. The air that hung heavy with terror moments ago is now totally still. I swallow. It sounds like a gunshot in my ears. The next breath is so close that it makes my hair flutter. Are you afraid? A deep, echoing voice asks from behind me. It sounds like a rumble of thunder that precedes the worst of a storm. Yes, we shout. I'm the only one who is lying. A rush of air almost topples me. A shadow briefly blots out the sun. The beast lands in front of us, more macabre than I remember it. The saint of fear. It is a disgusting patchwork. Its body is that of a wolf, but 10 times the size. At the crown of its head, a deer's antlers spiral out, reaching for the sun. Its skull is that of an overgrown deer. I say skull, not head, because there's no flesh or fur to cover its awful maw. There's only bleached bone, deep hollows for eyes, and a permanent toothy sneer. Heretics call it the Untir, the monster. I strain to keep my gaze pinned to the floor the way it wants me to, but I cannot stop my eyes from drifting upward. Caves call to children, and the pits in the saint's skull call to me. Deep in the socket, eyes the color of blood flick to mine. The saint falters mid-stride and releases a breath. More of a growl than an exhale. I stare back into my lap, focusing on the pinch of Mama's nails against my palms. Rancid breath moistens my cheek. One of its bloody claws pins the edge of my dress to the dirt. Are you afraid? It snarls into my face, each syllable echoing unnaturally. Lie, my brain orders. Yes! A rumble comes from deep in its chest. You will be. A distant wail echoes, a chorus of whispers from the women. I let go of the exhale caught between my throat and lips, stealing a furtive glance at Thea. When she looks back at me, there is more white than blue in her eyes. The wind dies down. The birds cease to sing. The saint swings its colossal head toward the trees of the Hexenwald. Mama grips my hand so tightly that my skin blanches around her fingers. Anyone's privy to this spectacle, unaware of Hulensine's macabre traditions, might believe that the monster before us is our foe. No, this bloody mud creature is our savior. The worst is yet to come. An amorphous cloud of white floats free of the forest, not the serpentine lindworm, nor the insatiable Naxenherr. As it glides over the lake, it separates into three distinct entities, three women, floating just above the water. Their arms and legs dangle as motionless as corpses. I watch them in the way I might ogle a snake before it strikes. The Hexen, Mama whispers, her voice cracking. This is the end. Through all the 8 years of my life, monsters have poured from the Hexenwald like blood from a wound. But never, never have the Hexen shown their face. They're the root of the evil that preceded them. They orchestrate. They do not bloody their own hands. Until today. The Hexen reach our shore, gliding over the pebbles, then the grass, then the cobbled street. They hang just in front of the ancient saint, staring it down with pupilless eyes. One is gray-haired, her face weathered by time. One is maternal in her beauty, soft of cheek and hip. Between them, they clutch the youngest, no older than me, perhaps 8 years old. She does not levitate so much as she hangs. We have come for the Saint of Fear. They do not open their mouths, but they speak in discordant harmony. I know their presence should stir something in me. They are predators and I am their prey. Our relationship is the basis of life in this isolated valley. The creatures of the Hexenwald hunt. Humans flee. But rather than fear, I feel anticipation. It's the same sense I get just before a storm breaks. The eldest of the Hexen floats forward. She cocks her head at an unnatural angle, eyes boring into the saint's skull. The imposition of her gaze enrages the beast. It snarls, raising its hackles. Leave this place, it barks. Do not folly with the saint. I have slain the beast you sent to terrorize this village. I will slay you just the same. The woman's jaws fall open in unison. Laughter tumbles out. It is flighty and girlish, utterly strange from their cold, unsmiling faces. I will tear you limb from limb, the saint growls, incensed. Then you shall see. The Hexen stop laughing. Wind whips around them, lifting the muddied hems of their dresses. The eldest turns her back and glides away, drawing level with her companions. I think they might be retreating, until her head rotates a half circle atop her spine. Eyes burning hot, the woman says, Feast! The Hexen plunged through the air, jaws hanging open. The oldest smiles so widely that I think her cheeks might split. The middle Hex adopts a rigid face so uncaring I think she may be made of glass. The youngest screeches, a sound that makes my teeth ache. Gauzy, iridescent ether fills the sky, pulsing around them. The beast roars. Rah! It leaps forward, plunging serrated teeth into one of the Hexen's legs, the youngest of the brood, and slams her to the ground. Her spine breaks at an angle mimicking the staccato peaks of the mountains behind the Hexenwald. Mama screams, ah! This time it holds more than just terror. Her pupils narrow, tears streaming down her cheeks unbridled. The young Hex's death snaps something vital inside her. It snaps something in the remaining Hexen too. They wail. It's a magnetic sound, wrenching my focus away from Mama. Ether rolls off them in waves, the same way it seeps from the Hexenwald on a clear day. Their fists harden at their sides, and their assault resumes. The eldest howls, anguish pinching her features. The other laughs so shrilly that my eardrums begin to ring. Their outburst infects the saint of fear. Its eyes begin to water and it moans with grief. Its colossal heart beats so loudly I hear it at a distance, mirroring the maternal hex's erratic laughter. The Hexen set upon the weakened beast, tearing out great hunks of its flesh with their teeth. The saint swings its head, and I swear it looks directly at me as it bellows, "I need more!" My feigned scream is blunt. Ah! I swear, powerless, foaming at the mouth. The saint breaks free from the Hexen and turns on us. The women shriek, clutching one another in desperation. The Hexen cackle as the saint lumbers toward our ranks, one paw dragging limply behind. At first, I think the saint is coming for me, that it plans to punish my heresy once and for all. I throw myself in front of Thea, desperate to shield her from what comes next, but then the saint diverts. It stalks down the line. I look to the right just in time to see Clara Keller's head torn from her neck. The stump of her spine spurts blood. I gawk at the empty space where that girl's head should be, unable to comprehend her metamorphosis from person to corpse. My lungs calcify, denying me the breath I'm desperate for. The saint stares at me. It wants me to see Clara's lifeless eyes staring out from between its teeth. Her mouth is still ajar as she might reanimate at any moment and tell us not to worry. Slowly, the saint grinds its jaws shut. Her face compresses and distorts, and Mama uses our conjoined hands to shield my eyes. It does not stop me from hearing Clara's skull crack between the saint's teeth. By the time Mama removes her hand, what's left of Clara kneels limply. She wears her best dirndl, a white apron now bloody, and a dress the color of forget-me-nots. How proud she must have been putting on that dress this morning, never anticipating it would be the last thing she'd wear. Clara's mother and sister do not move. They maintain their grip on her hands, keeping her headless body upright. Even in death, Clara completes the wall. "No!" the saint roars. "Are you afraid?" The women around me rally. They think the saint is addressing us all. I know the truth, that it has seen me, that it knows a steady absence in my heart. Clara Keller died because of me. Spittle flies from my mama's mouth. Farther down the line, Clara's mother clutches her daughter's corpse and bellows. Terror becomes a tangible force, exploding from the women's feeble bodies, shrapnel feeding the saint. The beast changes. It rears up to stand on 2 legs, not 4. Its antlers branch out and skeletal prongs sharpening. It walks like a man, not a beast. Teeth longer than the rest drop from its bony jaw. The Hexen levitate, retreating to the lakeshore, and begin to chant. The saint pursues them, but gravity itself begins working against the creature. The Hexen's faces contort. They chant louder, louder. Groaning, the saint collapses to the ground, body pressing into the earth. The scream that Thea let loose is the closest I've ever felt to fear. It's an urgent plea, a call to action. She scrambles against me, anchoring our bodies. Her panic brings the reality of her situation to sharp focus. If the saint of fear dies, so do we. And it will be my fault. My chest shudders with guilt, blending with my longing to save Thea and my desperation to be fearful, to be the way a girl should be. I let my mouth hang open, begging Thea's terror to inhabit me. Something else rises from my depths. Fury. Ah! A sound erupts from deep inside, somewhere primal. The Hexen scream. Ah! I look up just in time to see them thrown across the lake, their limbs flung out like rag dolls. They crash deep in the Hexen wall. Trees collapse in their wake. There's a cracking of wood, the settling of leaves, and then there is silence. The saint turns to face us, panting. Thea draws me tighter against her as if she can shroud me in the folds of her dress. I drop my eyes to the ground and whimper, the image of a subservient, fearful girl. The saint of fear draws its maw level with my ear. My hair flutters as it whispers, "Do not disappoint me again, Ilsa Odenwald. It will be your sister's head next time." Without hesitation, the beast leaps over the wall of our bodies and retreats to its den. The villagers call after it, offering thanks and shaky prayers. Clara Keller's mother blows it a kiss. A kiss. Thea collapses into a flood of tears. I kiss her cheek and turn to Mama to do the same, but her expression shows no relief. Mama stares at me with cold calculation. Her eyes caught somewhere between suspicion and loathing. She sees the absence of my heart. The absence in my heart. The glaring, angry silhouette my fear should occupy. It is a void, a hungry black hole that will consume everything she holds dear. We both know the clock is ticking.